Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video on my channel, Meg's Movies. If you are new to this channel, this is basically where I talk to you guys about my passion for movies. This goes from collections, hauls, reviews, and today's video, so let's get into it. So just to get this very quickly out of the way, yes, I got my nails done. This is the very first time I've got them done, and it's going to take some getting used to, but I thought I treated myself. So I thought I'd get that quickly done and out of the way, just in case you're looking and thinking, ooh, she's got nails. But yeah, so let's get into this review for The Brutalist. Apologies as well if I get distracted, but my cat Poppy is having a mad moment, so I might end up having to look over, make sure she's not doing anything weird, like how she's now currently sniffing my nails. But yeah, so we are here today to review The Brutalist. This is one of the Oscar nominations for this year, hence why I went to go and see it. Although pre-warning, if you are not aware, this is 3.5 hours long. So if you plan to watch it, don't do what I did and go and see it in the middle of the night. That's all I'm going to say. It was only because it was one of the last few showings this week for it, and this was the only day I could really do it. So just pre-warning, if you're going to watch it, either watch it during the day of streaming, or if your local cinema is still showing it and there's daytime showings, go for that one. Because I didn't get out till about 11 o'clock at night. But anyway, just to give you a very basic plot summary, we are following the character of Laszlo. Sorry, I cannot talk today. We're following the character of Laszlo, played by Adrien Brody. And basically, he is this sort of little architect that is kind of a bit well known, kind of not. It's one of those things where he's starting out, and basically after the post-World War, I'm not sure which one, he ends up getting hired by someone to build something for him. I'm not going to say any more than that. This also stars Felicity Jones playing Adrien Brody's character's wife. I don't know, I can't remember her name to be honest in this film, and I'll probably pronounce it wrong anyway. But yeah, so we are following these characters as they deal with that event and obviously trying to build this thing. I'm not going to say any more than that. I'm not going to say what else happens, nothing else like that, because I do try and stay as spoiler free as I possibly can. So with this review, I will start off by saying I had no idea what I was walking into. I had not seen a trailer for this. I did not look at the synopsis before going in. I'd only seen a poster here and there, and I'd only heard a couple of good things about this film, so I didn't really hear anything much on the plot, so I wasn't really sure what I was getting into. So I will be completely honest at this point as well. For the first 10 minutes of the film, first 10 to 20 minutes of the film, I was kind of confused as to what I was watching. It did start off as a foreign language start, so I was a bit like, am I going to have to read subtitles throughout this whole thing? But no, there was some English thrown in as well. I will say though, the colouring that they chose for the subtitles, yellow, works fine for most things, but when it's a bright white background, I could not read the text. Doesn't help that I was sitting quite far back, but at the same time, I still couldn't even read it. So that's one of my little nitpicks. But after those 20 minutes, I then sort of cottoned on what was going on, and I started to get into the film. And you know what? As much as this is not my usual film, as you guys know, I usually go for animation, comedy, horror, fantasy. So things that don't take the more serious route. I have seen some serious films, but this is the first time that I've watched something that's pretty much all serious. It doesn't really have any laugh out loud moments. So yeah, we'll get into it now. So basically, I actually ended up enjoying it more than I thought I would. However, like I said, because it's not my cup of tea, I'm not sure how often I'd return to it. I can see why it got nominated for Oscars, especially from Adrien Brody's side of things. He did amazing in the role of Laszlo. I cannot talk today, or any other day. But I liked his character. He was sort of like a grumpy character, but you can understand why, and just sort of like, I think he gave a really good performance. You've also got Guy Pearce in this film. So there's a couple of actors in here that I kind of knew, mainly Adrian Brody and Felicity Jones. I have heard of Guy Pearce, but not really seen much of his work. So it's sort of like a new forte for me, not just for the genre of film that it was, but also for the actors and for the Oscar side of things. Because when it does come to the Oscars, a couple of the movies I would have seen, but I've never watched them all. So it's kind of nice to expand a little bit more as well on the genre of movies. The cinematography was really nice in this, I will admit as well. The acting was good as well, as say, not just from Adrian Brody, but from all the other side characters. Felicity Jones, I thought she did really, really well in her role. I will say as well, this is not really a spoiler, but this is just to give you a heads up if you go and see this film, if you haven't. There is an intermission thing. So there's this little photo that pops up and it says intermission. That lasts for 15 minutes. So that gives you a chance to get up, stretch your legs, get more snacks, do what you have to do. I just sat there. I just scrolled through my phone, to be honest. I was just like, oh, okay, 15 minutes intermission. So that was a first for me. I've had an intermission once before, but that was when I went to go and see the 2 Terrifier films with Evander, and basically they ended up pausing before they started the second one. So that I kind of got, but it kind of threw me off a little bit when it come up, and I was just like, oh, because the lights then came on and I was like, okay. And literally for 15 minutes you were just staring at this photo of the family, and it's just sort of like you hear sort of like people talking, you hear music. It's certainly different. There was only one other person in the cinema screen with me, and when he had disappeared out to go to the toilet or whatever he was doing, there was talking. So that kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. So if you do decide to watch this film at home and you want to skip that 15 minutes, feel free. It is literally you were just staring at a poster and watching this countdown. But I will say the 15 minutes kind of went by quick. It didn't feel like it dragged, but say that will explain why it's 3.5 hours long, because 15 minutes of that is an intermission, and then 15 minutes of that is credits. So also I will say as well, the text for the credits and the opening different, and I kind of liked it. It sort of like threw me off a bit, but I kind of liked the style that they did. I mean, for the end credits, it's sort of like a slant, so yeah, very weird. But no, overall, it was a good film. But like I said, it's not going to be one that I think in my head, you know what, I feel like watching The Brutalist. I will watch it again at some point, but it's just, I don't know, because I like I said, the funny side, the more sort of like fantasy. I mean, looking at my film collection, I mean, I've only got things like Misery, that's not really that funny, that's serious. Man on the Moon, that's more serious than anything else. So I only have a handful of serious films, so yeah, it was nice to broaden my movie watching. I'm glad I got to see it on the big screen, I will say that, but like I said, do not watch it late at night, because otherwise you've then got to walk home at like pretty much 10 past 11 by the time you get out. So, so hence why you got the review the next day and not the same day. But no, The Brutalist. Definitely, I can understand why it got nominated for the Oscars. And say there's a couple of scenes in here that were like, whoa, like what the... Also, pre-warning as well, it's not going to spoil anything, but there is a fair bit of nudity. So if you're not a massive fan of watching films that have a bit of nudity in it, and it's in the public viewing, so it's like cinema, don't watch it at the cinema, watch it at home. It's completely up to you, but that's just that little heads up. It doesn't spoil anything, but there is a bit of nudity. But no, I don't think this is based on a true story. I think this was something that was written up. For some reason I thought it was, but I think if I remember when I googled it last night, it wasn't a true story, because it did get me curious. I was like, is this a true story, or is this a like made up thing? I think if I remember, it is made up. But no, it's definitely worth at least a one-time watch. in my opinion. You might not like it, or you might be like me that enjoyed it, but you wouldn't return to it that much. So my final score for this film, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Just because, like I said, although it was a really good film, to me, wanting to return to it, it might be some time before I return to it, but I would watch it again. So, yeah. So, I finally watched one of the films that I hadn't seen for the Oscars. I've only seen a couple of them. So, this was one of the first ones. I believe tomorrow I'm seeing 2 more Oscar-nominated films. So, we shall see. We shall see. But, yes, so I really hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, then do give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to this channel, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button and also notification bell down below to be notified when I post. And leave me your comments and thoughts on The Brutalist. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Did you watch it on the big screen? And also, what did you do during that 15-minute intermission? Let me know. I'd love to know. Unless you went to the toilet, then I don't need to know. But if you went to go get snacks, if you just scroll through your phone, let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys next time.